ad hoc committee brought to life by the County Assembly resolution through a motion to look into the functioning of the Kapsabet municipality, and as well as also to look at the projects under World Bank Kenya Urban Support Program. So you are here because you got a letter summoning you to appear before this committee. I am Kipkuru Chepkwony, the MCA for Tinderet and the chair of this ad hoc committee, and I have my members who will introduce themselves.
I'm Cynthia Moga, member of this committee.
Gideon Kaich, member.
Alpha Siriot, member.
Thank you.
All right, then we also have our technical clerk assistants. And Madam Sigot, we'll go straight to you. You are able to read the letter of invite, so you will kindly introduce yourself and comment to the contents of the letter that we wrote to you.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Emily Sigot, former board member, Kapsabet Municipality, and a resident of Nandi County. Thank you for the letter. I think I was just called that there was a letter and I wasn't around. But somehow I received the letter. I think there were two letters. One was talking of to provide some information, and the other letter was to appear in person, which I think I've honored, despite the fact that I'm no longer a board member. But I thought it was good for me to just appear and probably clarify one or two issues that you might need from me.
Sure. Now, from your response, confirm to this board that the number of board meetings you've attended, the board committees that you sit in, and the number of meetings that you've attended as well.
Okay. I might not have all the facts on my fingertips, but I want to believe I attended around 5 meetings for the board. I think there was an apology for one of them. Yeah.
You have not been able to have the tabulated list of the meetings that you attended?
Well, I came this morning via the manager's office. Yes. I was given something that I think I just perused through.
Have you perused through? Because you need to confirm the meetings indicated are the ones that you attended, because resolutions that were made at that time might have serious ramifications that you might want to be sure.
Sure, Chair. Just maybe 1 or 2 minutes.
The meetings appearing as indicated, it is indicating that Emily Sigot, appearing as member number 8 in the list, attended a meeting on 22nd of November 2018, 21st March 2019, 12th April 2019, and then there was an apology on 23rd of August 2019. Then you attended one on 1st of October 2019, and one on 30th October 2019. Then it is a blank on 28th of February 2020.
Yeah, I believe it's correct, Chair.
You need to be sure.
Yeah.
How were you always invited for these meetings? Was it through a phone call, a message, or a letter?
We had a WhatsApp group, so that they would write the invitation on the WhatsApp group.
So there was never a letter, a formal letter?
There was a letter. Yes. There was a letter, but in case you got late to pick the letter, then it was there in the WhatsApp.
So that means for every meeting, there was always a letter. Whether it came late or in time, there was a letter.
There was a letter.
So you confirm that these are the meetings you attended?
Those are the meetings I attended.
Which committees did you sit in the board?
I was in HR. I was in planning. I was in HR and planning.
HR and planning?
Yeah.
Okay. All these meetings, were you paid your allowances?
We were paid.
All the allowances?
Okay, some of them would come later.
Yes.
Some you would be paid during the meeting. Even after I left, I think I got maybe for the ones that I didn't get the money, but we were paid.
So all your meetings have been paid.
Yeah.
So-
All the meetings were paid.
So you have no balance. Order Honorable Fred and Kirwa.
The only thing maybe that during the circular we were supposed to be paid transport,
Yes.
which I think it was a matter that was pending until we left.
So
The
the,
sitting allowance
Yes.
were paid.
so for the transport, there is no day that you are paid.
We were not paid.
The circular you're referring is which one?
It should be from SRC.
From SRC?
Yeah.
You sat in the HR, so you need to be sure.
Yeah, it was
There was a circular to that effect.
There was a circular that said you're supposed to produce a receipt from wherever you're coming from.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, for the meetings that you attended,
Yeah.
both for the board and the committees, you confirm that you are being paid.
Yeah, I was paid.
Okay. Now, in your opening remarks, you indicated that you are a former board member.
Yeah.
Can you explain that?
During some time, I think I might not remember the dates clearly, but I think around June, there was an amendment to the Act
Yes.
that said they needed the CC and the CO to be part of the board. And they said, and you cannot expand the board beyond the 9 members. So they said the person representing that was urban local to be out, and 1 person from the 4 who are sourced competitively. So I was among the 4 people who did the interviews. And there was a meeting that was called, and the governor read for us the circular, which we had actually received. The only thing is we were not sure about the interpretation of the circular, whether it was going to be going forward, the next board coming in should not include those persons, or it was the board that was there that those 2 persons had to leave. So when we met, and I think the interpretation of the law was done, then that is how I left.
So you're saying, I want to be sure, this communication that changed the constitution of the board, the composition of the board,
Yeah,
was made by who?
by the Senate.
No, that the amendment was done
Yeah.
by the National Assembly for that
Yeah,
case,
exactly,
right?
yeah.
But the communication to the board was made by who?
It was done by the governor.
By the governor?
Yeah.
Okay. In a formal board
And
meeting.
it was in a full board meeting.
Were you able to have a glance, or did you get a copy of the communication to that effect? That communication that the governor read?
As in what
That
what
which
he
you were
said.
saying, the one
Yeah.
that you were saying,
Yeah.
because of the limitation,
Amendment.
because there was need for the CC and the CO to be board members,
Yeah.
and that those who are sourced competitively wanted to give room,
Yeah.
and the other
One of them,
yes,
and the other member was the one representing the urban local.
yes.
Yeah.
So was there a letter to that effect?
Yeah, I think there's a circular.
From who?
There's a circular to that effect.
From who?
It was communicated from the COG through Waziri.
From the COG.
Yeah.
So it's not the AG.
Okay, my notes say that I'm very sure who the communication was from down.
No, because you see, you should have been. It should have been of interest to you. You are a board member, and
Yeah.
you are going to be affected by that circular. So you need to have been sure what you had or what you saw.
But it was a communication, and it was a valid communication. That one is not.
It cannot be valid
Yeah.
unless you have a glance at it yourself, right?
Which I did.
You did.
Yeah,
So
I
it was from which office?
To me, okay, might not really be under pressure to say it was from which office, but I think I can produce the same letter if given some time.
You can produce.
Yeah,
Are you able
can.
to produce that letter by Monday?
By Monday.
All right. Now, in that letter,
Yeah.
so you said that those who are sourced competitively, one was-
person had to vacate.
So how was the decision that you were the one to vacate?
Okay, for me,
You are 4 of you who are sourced competitive,
exactly.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh-huh. So looking at it from my point of view, one was representing the youth. One was representing PWDs.
Yes.
One already was a chair. So it is like I was the only one remaining without anything very tangible really to say.
You're sourced competitively, right?
I was.
And
But even Senate knew that we were so competitive. So I don't know why they would say one person to vacate from that group.
No, the Senate did not decide that one person to vacate. They only changed the law
Yeah.
on the composition.
Yeah, the
and they did
composition.
not indicate that this specific representation should be
Should be
limited.
present. But even reasoning on my own, you cannot remove the youth. The youth is the only person who was in that committee.
So was the decision to vacate board, was it your own decision?
After it was made like it was clear, then my other option was just to resign.
No, why not any other person to resign? Because they've only said that they had limited the number of people who are sourced competitively.
Yeah.
But they did not say Emily Sigot
It
for
not
Nandi.
say, you are right. It does say Emily Sego to vacate. But again, the law says PWD have to be represented.
Yes.
The youth have to be represented. And of course, I want to believe the chair also. You know, you cannot leave an organization when the chair is already there.
No, there was that. You see, once the law changes,
Yeah.
it affects everybody.
Yeah.
It does not recognize that of the 4 who are elected or who are sourced competitively, one is a chair, so he's immune.
So the bottom line, you want me to say?
No, we want you to tell us what is the reason as to why one Emily Sigot was opted out of the board.
Probably maybe the governor would be answering that.
So, are you saying the governor specifically named you to vacate the board? The board?
Yeah.
In
Sorry?
the board sitting, he called out you as the person to vacate.
When he was going through, he said what I've just said.
Yes.
So and so representing the youth, so and so representing the PWDs, so and so chair. So my name remained.
Or he called out now from the entire board list, he called out those who are to be left.
Who are to be, the tasks that they were doing,
Those who are retained.
who are retained, yeah.
So he's the one who read out the list and left out your name.
Yeah. Not left out the name, but he said, what I've just said, he said so and so representing this group, so and so representing this group, so and so chair. Then he said, well, I didn't see any malice because he said, and the 3 of you, I'll be having a meeting to discuss further, which I think maybe probably will call us for another meeting.
So you say the 3 of you will have a discussion with you further.
Yeah, we were to have a further discussion. On
So
the
have you
same.
ever had that further discussion?
Not yet, maybe with this corona, probably after.
So when after he read out your name that you would opt out, what action did you do?
Nothing much.
Did you seek clarification? Were you
me,
comfortable? Were you happy?
Happy might not be the word, but I was comfortable because he had justified himself.
So what did you raise a concern in that sitting?
No, there was no concern that I raised.
So how was it documented now that you're out of the board?
Unless I see maybe the minutes after that. I've not seen the minutes after that, what was documented.
Because according to the Act,
Yes.
on vacation of office, nothing was amended. And the reasons for vacation of office
Yeah.
are very clear. So you vacated office illegally.
Was it illegal?
Because it's not, there is no provision in the law that allows you to be told to, because you are sourced competitively, it has reduced. It only, the board is expected to have sat right?
Yeah.
The only leeway is resignation.
Which we did.
Resigns
Which I
in
did.
writing to the county governor.
Yeah. I resigned.
So you resigned.
Yeah, I
Did
resigned.
you write a letter of resignation?
Yeah, I did.
Was it voluntary?
It was voluntary.
So you made that
Because
decision?
I wasn't forced by anybody.
No, you see it yourself.
Yeah.
You were told by the governor that you will opt out of the board. That is not resignation.
Chairman,
Honorable Fred?
ningependa kuuliza member Sikot
Yes.
ya kwamba anasema hakuna mtu alilazimisha. Unajua wakati jina yako ilikuja hapa kuna mtu tungetaka ya kuja, lakini wakati umekuja huyu mtu akatubuliwa mbali. Sasa wewe umeresign, nani atatusaidia kwa hiyo kazi? Tayari kazi iko mbaya. Kwa sababu kuna mtu wakati jina yako ilikuja hapa kuna mtu mlikuwa wengi wakaamua ni jina yako. Alafu ukaenda ukaresign bila makosa.
Unajua mheshimiwa, wakati barua ilikuja kutoka which I don't want to quote, it was COG, ikatuambia ya kwamba watu wenye wanabaki kwa board ni watu 9 pamoja na waziri na CEO. Na kisha walisema wale watu 4 ambao walifanya interview, mmoja wao anatoka. Wakasema yule mtu anawakilisha urban na I think local authority anatoka. So waliposema hivyo and so for urban and local I think there was nothing because si mtu mmoja alikuwa anawakilisha. Sasa tukabaki 4. Ndio nilikuwa naeleza ya kwamba one was a youth, alikuwa ni youth. Katiba haikubali kuwa na any committee without a youth. Katiba haikubali any committee without PWD. Katiba haikubali the other one alikuwa chairman tayari. So na sasa wamesema this is the amendment, ndio inafanywa. So ikabidi tu Waswahili wanasema lisilo budi hutendwa. So ikanibidi sasa ndio ni resign ili ndio wabaki watu 9 na waendeleze, kwa maana at times wanasema the county is bigger than any one of us. Kama county yani isiwe ni sisi tunasimamisha county kuendelea na kazi sababu ya hii mambo yenye wamesema this amendment. Kama ishafanywa ni hivyo basi kazi inaendelea, because I think there was communication breakdown kutoka kwa CEO haikuwa nafika kwa executive. I think that is what the Senate or was it the COG said. So ikaendelea hivyo I resigned, I think it was November.
Mheshimiwa Chairman, unajua kwa nini nimeuliza hiyo maswali?
Yes, Honorable.
Sikot, unajua amekuwa member wa board county assembly, akaresign pia. Tena tumesikia tumemchagua tena ameresign pia. Sasa unaona ndio namuuliza kwa nini hata akipewa kazi nyingine county inamaanisha ataresign pia, kwa sababu unajua wakati tumeamua, hata wakati alikuwa anafanya board hapa kuna watu walikuwa wanapambania hiyo kiti kwa wengi. Yeye wakaamua ni yeye tukamuunga mkono. Tayari board imekuja na jina yake, tumemuunga mkono ameresign.
That is a very serious analysis. Yes. That you need to clarify. You've never been able to serve in a board to the end of term.
But the one I resigned, okay, there are 2 different scenarios. The one Mheshimiwa is referring to was the board. And then the board was a part-time kama hii. So I needed to get a full-time job, which I did. And I think I served my term, nikamaliza my contract na nikatoka. So for the other one, well, it was would I say I became victim of circumstances, because when it happened, I had no option but to resign.
Now, have you had a look at the amendment that then got you out of the board?
Yeah, the one that we were saying, the communication from
Have you read it yourself?
I think I read that part that was saying the 4 people and the person representing this. It even talked of qualifications for you to serve in the board. You have to have ABCD. So I think I've read that part.
So was there anywhere in that act that indicated that the professionals were to be reduced?
There?
Those who are competitively recruited.
Yeah.
to be reduced to 3. What we are trying to establish here is the reasons for your abandoning or vacation of office.
Oh, my. That is what
Because
it
all
said,
the
yeah?
reasons you are explaining
Yeah.
that is not backed by law. Fine, the law was amended
Yeah.
that the membership remains at 9,
Yeah.
and that there was the inclusion of the CC now
And the
CEO.
CEO, yeah.
But why you?
Chairman, pia unajua
As Honorable Fred?
ile uchunguzi hii tulifanya, nasikia mheshimiwa gavana alimwambia wawache hii wapewe kazi nyingine. Sasa ndio maana alikuwa anauliza kwa sababu aliwacha county assembly, amewacha hiyo.
Is that-
Tena amewacha hii tena apewe kazi nyingine.
Is that what the communication?
No, that
Is
was not
this-
the communication. What I had was we were to have a meeting with him,
You
which
don't-
we've never had. So
You never
probably if that was the communication to come, I'm yet.
So when you say the meeting of which day, the date that the governor communicated to you,
Uh-huh.
when was that communication done?
It should have been where. It should have been the last meeting of 30th October.
30th of October of 2019.
Yeah.
Now, if you read the same act that you said you complied
Yeah.
to make it work, the board work, the commencement date of that act was 28th of March 2019. Then why would you wait until November and yet you still have exited in March?
You wanted me to wait until to make it 1 year?
No. It is, you said you exited in November of 2019.
Yeah.
This was supposed to commence in 28th of March 2019.
What was the comments?
The implementation of the amended act
Or it was to start in when?
to take effect in March.
It was March, eh? Okay, I think we didn't give it much a thought, eh? You know, once you've had a meeting. And,
So that means if you didn't give much attention to the amendment and you ended up resigning or opting out of office, did you have interest in serving in that board?
Very much so, and that's why you see my presence in all these meetings. I was there. In fact, the one of August, it was a very technical meeting that I couldn't have attended. Otherwise, we really wanted to work and utilize the World Bank money well and do the work. Otherwise, you would have seen so many apologies in these meetings.
So as a member of the HR committee,
Yeah.
how many staff does the municipality have, and does it have its payroll?
Okay, that was quite a challenge because there were many people seconded to municipality. We didn't have a workforce that we would call our own. So at that time, when I left office, I think I might not have the facts well, but we had been seconded so many people until we wrote a letter to Public Service Board to stop seconding persons to municipality. We were still waiting for autonomy to be independent so that we can run our own.
But you're autonomous as of the date that you are sworn into office,
It is true.
as per the act, isn't it?
As per the act, we're autonomous. But
Exactly.
you know, on the ground, autonomy would actually mean you run the functions yourself.
But the law has given you the leeway to run your functions. So if you wanted, if you are complying when the law is amended to get rid of you from the board, and yet for 1 year you had the law clear on autonomy and independence.
I agree with you. To be autonomous in paper is easy, but in actions it can be hard because you have to be having the functions. For example, if you talk of infrastructure within the municipality being under you, but that function has not been transferred from probably the infrastructure department, there is nothing much you can do because that function is supposed to come with resources so that you are able to manage. About the waste management, for example, you cannot go saying we are going to purchase tractors to collect litter from probably the west side, the east, if the autonomy is not there. So I think the main challenge that I saw when I was in board was transfer of functions and resources to the municipality.
So are you saying the board was not functional?
It was functional, otherwise we wouldn't have attended all these meetings. But
No,
there-
attending meetings is not a sign of functionality of the board. Functionality of the board is for the board to be able to do and perform the mandates given in law.
which I think
They did not perform. There is nothing that they have been able to perform.
okay.
Is there? Is there anything that the board has been able to perform that is clearly given by the law?
Talking of it, I've now seen the non-motorized walkways going on.
Which
The-
is structure, which is infrastructure, isn't it?
Yeah,
And you are referring to it again that it has not been transferred.
but at least you know that we had the money from World Bank.
Correct?
But if it was like infrastructure, it would mean.
So without the World Bank money, the municipality is not functional. What we are seeing is World Bank funded projects. So put that aside. Let's
Yeah.
talk about the municipality in the context of the county government of Nandi.
You know why it wouldn't be functioning is the budget.
So it's not functioning.
I wouldn't say it's not functional, but the budget. Once the municipality does not have a budget on its own, then World Bank money aside, then there are no functions you can do.
It's not functioning. So without World Bank, it's not functioning.
Che-
Yes, Honorable Fred?
Ningependa kuuliza member wa board. Unajua sisi ni waheshimiwa.
Yes.
Hatudeal na pesa. Kazi yetu ni kupeana proposal na kupitisha. Kama nyinyi tu. Sasa mlikuwa na haja gani na pesa? Kwa sababu mngekaa chini kwa board mkupropose kwamba tunataka town site, tunataka barabara. Serikali yenyewe ijipange na pesa yake. Sasa mngesema mnataka mpewe pesa na pengine sheria haikuwa imekubali kupewa pesa, sijui hapo. Lakini sasa pesa itasaidia nini? Kama mimi nimepanga kwamba nataka ninunue hii television. Na nipeane na inunuliwe. Kama hiyo walkway tayari mlipropose, sijui kama nyinyi mlipropose. Unajua mkisema ati pengine wako kwa malete pesa hapa. Mimi kama MCA nimekuwa hapa mwaka 8, sijawahi ona pesa. Napeana tu barabara inatengenezwa, napeana tu maji inarekebishwa, mtu analipwa pesa na serikali inaenda. Kwani kwa hiyo board amwezi fanya kazi hivyo?
Tunafanya hivyo Mheshimiwa Fred. Hata mimi pia wacha nikuulize, ulipoona budget ikipitishwa, uliona pesa za municipality?
Order.
Because
Order, Madam Sigot. I would rephrase this to you, the same question that you want to ask. In the board, did the board ever approve its own budget?
Yeah, we did. We did, and we actually.
How much was approved?
Nothing was approved because what?
No, how much was approved by the board? And in which financial year?
Oh, at that time, probably ask the manager who is our accounting officer to give you the figures. But I know we proposed to have a budget of our own. And
How
we even
much? How
called-
much?
I wouldn't know the figures.
Which financial year?
Sorry?
Which financial year are you referring to?
I'm referring to should have been 1920, which should have been.
The budget currently in
Yeah,
implementation.
it should have been. Yeah,
Did you submit your proposed budget to the assembly?
Yeah, what happened? I think it was for us.
You know very
to
well.
sit.
You know
May
very
I
well
just
that-
explain, Mheshimiwa? It was for us to sit and agree on a budget. And then it is now given to Waziri of the department to go through and to give to finance. So when it went to those stages, we were told, because we did not have a strategic plan, then we could not be accorded finance. So there is somewhere even in some of these minutes, we were told the faster you do the strategic plan, then the faster you will get your budget. Probably confirm that from Waziri tomorrow if she's coming anytime. So we were told have your strategic plan and have, was it the integrated development plan? So we were told the two would actually open for you to have a budget.
So did you develop the two?
Again, it would go before I left.
Yes, before you left. Let's
Yeah,
talk about
I
before you
think
left.
about-
Was there
A
a
strategic
plan and a development plan? That
Yeah,
was
before I
that-
left, we had been told it was an advice again because we were trying to get the second phase of World Bank money. World Bank money could
No,
not.
forget about World Bank. Let's talk about
trying
first
to-
the budget.
I'm trying.
Let's talk about the budget because I want us to understand.
Yeah.
I want to make us understand
Yeah.
why the board did not function. We are talking about the budget by the board funded by the county government.
Okay.
All right. So you did the budget.
Yeah, we did the
You
budget.
forwarded the CEC for finance.
Yeah.
Or the CEC for devolution.
For, yeah.
Administration.
Okay. Yeah, public administration.
Yes. What was the feedback?
The feedback was now that strategic plan.
So after that, have you been able to have a strategic plan and IDP?
That's what I was just saying. Before I left, the two were now supposed to be started off. And I think it was an advice, before you cut me short, because I was going to bring in the World Bank so that you see how the two are correlating. We were told you can, I think, adapt from the county government, the county integrated development plan, so that we write to World Bank. I think it was even an advice from...
Not World Bank. Talk about the county. We'll come to the World Bank.
Okay,
yes.
fine. So we were told to, and you know...
Because you wanted to meet two conditions, for World
Exactly.
Bank funding and also for funding from the county.
Exactly. In fact, the two are going together.
All right.
So allow me even to intertwine the two so that we are able to see
Okay.
this point. So I think we were told for us to access the second phase of the World Bank money, we had to also get the strategic plan and the integrated plan. And because the time was not there, already the assessment had been done, and I think we didn't meet the requirements because of the two. So we were told the easiest way out is for us to go through the county one and adopt what is in that county and make our own. And then now before we left, those were the two that were coming. And we were told they were going to seek for, I think, a consultant who was to do it very fast, come and take the board through for them to be adapted.
So was there an IDP that, or the development plan that was ever developed and brought before the board?
Okay, not to my knowledge, because I think I left before when, in fact, the last meeting that you see, the one I was telling you of 30th,
Yes.
as we were having a meeting, we were told, hurry up with the meeting. The people from, they call it Jomo Kenyatta, JKUAT, were around to take the county through, to take the municipality through, which I wasn't able to attend. So I don't know whether it went through or it did not go through.
So you did not attend that one, the one for the plan?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
That was the meeting of which day?
You see, like I was telling you, you see the 30th meeting,
Yes.
As we were having this meeting, we were told after that we were to meet those people. So probably 28th, people who attended the 28th meeting would be in a better position to comment on that.
Chair,
Yes, Honorable Fred.
ningependa kukumbusha Sikot ya kwamba yeye amesema kwamba hii pesa ingine akaunti si kuona bunge. Mimi niliona pesa 14 million ya stage. Hiyo si ya KUSP. Nikapata 44 million. Nilianzia kwanza 17 million, 74 million ya kujenga stadium.
Ya kujenga nini?
Nikaweka na ni municipality, mimi ni mheshimiwa municipality.
Yeah.
Nikaweka 20 something million ya dam site. Hiyo pesa haikufanyika. That's why ndio naona nauliza. Nikuja mkadili peke yake na KUSP. Kiangalia sasa stadium, hiyo pesa ikakuja ikatolewa ikapekwa supplementary kwa sababu haikufanyika. Stage. Unaona sasa vile stage.
Ablution ama ilikuwa ni nini? Ile ya stage.
Stage, majana ablution.
Oh.
Tamaking stage.
Okay.
Kuweka tamak. Niliweka pesa na imetengenezwa
Na
imeisha.
Okay.
Ndio naona nilikuwa nakuuliza. Tuliambiwa kwamba KUSP hawanunui shamba.
Yeah, hawanunui. Yeah,
tukaweka pesa hapa. Nafikiri hata tukuletee budget. Tukaweka pesa hapa kununua shamba. Mpaka sasa hiyo shamba haijawahi nunuliwa.
Na mliweka which department?
Financially hii mwaka pekee yake wako weka.
Mliweka kwa municipality?
Municipality.
Order,
Pesa
order.
Administration.
Order.
Administration sasa.
Order, Honorable Fred and Madam Sigot.
Thank you.
You speak through the chair. The question that Honorable Fred is asking is simply the money that was allocated to acquisition of land for dam site, which was under administration. And clearly, the issue of dam site is now with the act and the charter. That's a function of the municipality. Did the municipality ever discuss that? And what action did they do? That's what Honorable Fred is asking.
Thank you. Okay, what we had the challenge again as a board was the fact that money never came to account, that you would say if it is the manager, this is the CEO that has this 14 million that Mheshimiwa Fred has said. If it came through public administration, then it is the CEO to tell us. The CEO to tell us when the money came. Did they purchase?
All right. I think that's well answered. Now, going back to the issue of IDEP, you said you are a member of the planning committee.
Yeah.
How did the IDEP, how was it developed? You earlier on indicated that it was an extract from the CIDP. So the final document, was it approved by your committee and the board? Because you said you needed to meet the requirement to get World Bank funding.
Yeah.
So because you have qualified for the second tranche, that means there was a document that was submitted, the IDEP was submitted to World Bank, right?
For the second phase.
Yes.
Was that money even...
Or did you qualify? By the
No.
time you left, did you approve the IDEP?
Okay, I didn't see any...
In the committee,
IDEP,
did you ever discuss in the committee of planning?
Okay, we discussed, and there was a time I think we mandated the chair to go around with... there was... I think the Department of Lands was also doing spatial planning, and we told him to go around with them so that he is able to report on what was to happen. I'm not sure because I never attended any other
So
meeting.
from where you sit,
Yeah.
was there a document that was submitted to World Bank to meet the requirement of an IDEP?
I do not know. From where I sit, I do not know. Because I never saw any IDEP, I never saw any document.
Okay. Going back to the works that are currently happening, which you are saying that is what the municipality has been able to do.
Yeah.
Did the board participate in the procurement or tendering process for the current works?
No. But we were, at least we used to get the reports through the manager. And there was a time during one of the meetings, I think I personally called one of the project managers just to let them know that would be very much, would appreciate if we can be included as the board, so that anytime you say you are today opening, let a committee, maybe the planning or the chair, just attend on the opening. When you are doing evaluation, let somebody also attend. When you are doing the award, let somebody attend. And they had agreed that going forward, that was going to be the process. But looking at the process, it was done.
So
with the
are you
request.
saying that the issue of tendering of the works was never discussed in the board?
No, it was, we used, I'm telling you, we used to get reports from the manager. And
So the reports, to what aspect? Okay, let me ask. Did the board approve for the works to be tendered?
yeah,
You did approve.
yeah, we did.
So that is technically, that means you approve for it to be done, which was the nitty-gritty was to be done by the technical.
Okay, maybe my also, when we came in actually, there were some works that had taken place. I think they had even been advertised and they had done ABCD before we came. So for us, it's like we came in when some works had been done. But we told them going forward, especially the 1920 projects, we wanted to be on top of things so that we are able to know the adverts, know the opening, know the awards, and all the process. But there are others that we found when they were already ongoing.
So the decision, there was the first tendering process.
Yeah.
And then there was another one which was done. What happened?
To the best of my knowledge, what happened, when the works had been awarded, the contractors did not meet the bid bond. I think there was something to that effect. The World Bank talked of the bid bond had to be cash in the account. Unlike these other works where you can tell the bank to give you a security. So I think that is what happened. It's like the contractors did not have the...
So the board participated in the tendering process?
Okay.
Because the decisions, you see, a board might not be able to do, but they make decisions that are informed by the technical
It should have been
team.
now the second one, because it had to be redone.
Yes,
it was the bid bond.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, so it was redone.
Yeah, it was redone. And that is why I think they delayed also.
So what was the reasons given for why it was redone?
The reason I'm giving you is the bid bond.
The bid bond?
Yeah.
You're sure?
The contractor did not have the cash bid bond as per the World Bank requirements. So I think they had to retender because of that.
You're sure about that?
Yeah.
Because you, in the minutes of a meeting of 28th August of 2019,
Yeah.
you're still in the board.
Yeah.
The decision for retendering was done, and you were present. So at this point, honorable members, you should note that some of the members say that they did not participate. And they were very confident that they did not participate. The board was not involved in the tendering. And yet the decision for retendering was made by the board.
Well, I don't know what people said. I didn't follow. But you say 20.
So I want you to confirm that the board was involved in the tendering process.
That was August, 23rd
Yes.
of August. I wasn't in that meeting.
But subsequently, yes, you were absent. Subsequently, but you are aware that the board made this decision.
Yeah, because the following meeting, there is always the confirmation of the previous minutes.
Correct? So you confirm that one you were present.
Yeah, I was there.
Okay. The subsequent one. So, in a nutshell, you are saying the board participated in the tendering process. Would you know then, as a board member, the companies that qualified for the works?
I don't remember. I don't remember, but they were there. I'm sure they were told. I think they should be in the minutes, because once a contractor has won the contract.
But the board the report comes to the board.
Yeah, the report comes to the board, but I wouldn't really cram the contractors that once has won.
So do you feel, as a board, by the time you left, did you feel that the works, or let me start this way, did the board ever visit site during the handover of the site to the contractors?
No. Personally, I've not even visited those. There was a time I just went to the ablution here at the stage. But I think you would go individually. We didn't go as a board.
As a board?
Although we requested, we actually wanted, because we wanted to see the boundaries, wanted to see the projects. Facilitation was a challenge, but we would go individually and send somebody like Kashmir, who was always in town, to just be our eyes on the ground. And we actually requested going forward, like for those programs.
So for 2 years, the board, with a funding of more than 177 million, the board could not find time to go and visit the site,
it was not,
to even inspect the works, and yet you are paying.
You know, it was not finding time. You know, it is, there has to be something official. You are going for a site meeting to hand over the projects, to do monitoring. But there was a committee that was monitoring. And I think the finance department also, I think, were in charge of that.
So anyway, with that you just confirmed that the board never went to visit the site, so they were never concerned about what was happening.
We were very concerned.
But you were getting reports, so you agreed with the reports. Now, what was the duration of the contract?
I don't remember exactly, but I know there were some contracts that delayed, and we even asked in the board in some of those meetings. And I think we were told the contractor extended due to rains. I think it was muddy. I think I had that.
Extended. Did they seek formal?
Yeah, I think he wrote.
They sought formal approval.
Yeah, formal approval. Yeah, for the extension.
So was it approved by the board?
Yeah, it was.
The extension was approved by the board.
Did it come through? I'm sure it went through the process, and I think that
No,
extension.
you can't be
must have
sure.
come.
You can't be sure unless you were there or you were informed that it was done by the board.
Yeah, it were informed.
Because your colleague earlier on indicated that it was not done. It was never even a matter that was discussed by the board.
The extensions.
Yes, the contractor seeking extension because their duration ought to have expired by March of this year.
Yeah, there were extensions.
So the extensions, you were sure that...
Maybe, like personally, there are things I would ask. And I think I remember asking the chairman, and he confirmed to me the extensions were done. And
Fine,
yeah.
extensions were done, but was it done? Was it tabled before the board? Did the board approve
The extension, yeah. I want to believe it was probably, unless I've forgotten. Maybe if I went through the minutes, the next, once you go out of a place, it's not that you'd really want to follow, to remote follow, but I know the extensions. And if this is a contractor, remember also World Bank would actually be following. They have their own mechanisms to follow projects. So if there is a delay, I want to believe it was raised and the extensions were done. Otherwise, the contractor wouldn't be on site. He would have gone.
But they can be on site and procedurally, whether they are extended procedurally or not.
But because you're also there oversighting, I don't think you would have accepted for him to continue if his time was up.
Okay. All right, and then I think the other question I would ask you is, did the municipality board ever have a bank account?
We had written, it was minuted.
It was minuted.
It was minuted. What I do not know is whether it was opened or not.
So in the minutes that you are referring to, the signatories were
It was
identified
supposed
as
to be the manager,
yes,
the municipality manager, and I think it was to be a signatory with the CEO public administration. But what I do not know is whether it was opened and whether it is functional now.
So for those 2 years, for the 1+ year that you were there, you were never sure, because in quarterly meetings there should be quarterly reports, both financial and all those.
Yeah.
So there was never a report on financials.
That was given to us.
Yes. Because that would be able to tell you which bank account we are operating, how much money is in the account, how much has been used.
Well, probably it could have been maybe the process was still ongoing. Maybe
for 1 year. For 1 year, there was no account.
Let the manager explain that.
Okay, Honorable Kirwa.
Asante sana chairman. Kwanza ningependa kumuuliza member Sikot, contractors ambao walikuwa kwa site walikuwa wangapi?
I might not answer because I never attended any site meeting. What I know, they must have been contractors mwenye anatengeneza walkways, mwenye anatengeneza sewers, mwenye anatengeneza ablution. So sijui ni wangapi wako on site.
Na kujua kwako hii track ya kuanzia na AIC hapo Kapsabet Namkoi mpaka Chebarwa ilikuwa inafika wapi?
Hii ya kwenda huko.
Kuanzia Chebarwa mpaka AIC ilikuwa inafika wapi? Na ilikuwa nini? Ilikuwa ikutengenezwa maram waeke damak?
Tamak. Ni pahali tu umesema kuanzia Chebarwa mpaka hapo kwa AIC.
Ilikuwa inawekwa damak?
Ni tamak.
Okay. Na kwa saa hii bile iko ni maram.
Ni maram. Okay, unajua sasa nilipotoka sijafuata, maybe it was labda hata ilikuwa ni maram. Unajua ukishatoka mahali si ati utakuwa na ile you want to follow what was on, what was the other one. But probably I want to believe others would be coming, the people who are in muulize, probably washaenda site, have site meetings, so watasema the right thing.
Swali ya pili. Kwa maoni yako, ukiona bodi hiyo bodi ulikuwa ndani, ilikuwa inafanya kazi mzuri ama ulikuwa full, yani ulikuwa umefanya kazi mzuri?
Tulifanya kazi. Okay, not as maybe the 90%, lakini tulifanya kazi kwa uwezo wetu. Tulijitolea, tukafanya kazi, tuka lay foundation that was supposed to be laid. And probably, na tukauliza hiyo autonomy, tukauliza tujisimamie wenyewe, ili tupate account yenye chama na amesema, tufanye ABCD. Wote yenye sijui sasa, kwa maana imekuwa karibu almost mwaka moja, wameshafanya nini ndio wakufanya. Lakini nikiwa pale tulifanya kazi. And And we even we really asked to meet with you people, the committee in charge, so that we are able to read from the same script. Tuone, tunasaidiana aje, tufanye kazi. Board ni nzuri, ni kupea tu nguvu, kuipea tu nguvu the board. Ndio ikuwe na nguvu ya kufanya kazi.
Some of the challenges that you get when you are in that board.
Niyo kwa kujisimamia,
Okay.
na kukuwa na functions zenye the act ilisema. Kusema mnafanya kama ni waste management, bas ni nyinyi mseme trakta ngapi tutakuwa nazo, tutakusanya takataka east, dam site iko wapi, imenunuliwa, imefanya nini. Unajua kama bado mko wengi mnavutana kidogo, lakini kama ni wewe peke yako umeachiwa kazi, utajipanga, ujue kuanzia leo mpaka Thursday ni hii, kuanzia Thursday mpaka next Monday. But always anyway, you cannot actually detach yourself from the main, ni ile tu kuwa na wanasema uwiano mzuri tu, so that you get ukiwa na resources na you are independent, unafanya kazi. Kama hapa initially wenye wanajua hata Kirui, before you became independent, pia mlikuwa mnauliza a lot of kukua wenyewe mjisimamie kama county assembly. And before that, mheshimiwa anajua haikuwa rahisi, but once mlipojisimamia kazi zenu zikaenda haraka.
Mwisho.
Yes, Honorable Kirwa.
Mwisho, public space.
Then we have Honorable Cheriot.
Mwisho, handing over side ulifanya na contractor mulifanya kama board.
Ya kufanya contract.
Handing over side.
Hatukufanya.
Okay.
Honorable Cheriot.
My question was about the member said that the challenges was actually being given the autonomy to run the affairs of the municipal, which became an hindrance. I want to inquire from actually where Romus, do you think that actually the challenge emanated from?
Okay, thank you, Mheshimiwa. It might not be one department. I think across the board there are many departments that was to surrender activities to municipality, which they have not. So maybe when put together, you and me can say where we are supposed to address.
Any specific department?
When we also talked with our direct department, that is public service, I think she was actually to present a paper before the county executive meetings, and probably be given direction how they were to, which functions were to come. So probably she would be in a good position to actually say the challenges that she faced when trying to make that transition.
Okay.
The question on there would be, have the board resolved to seek the transfer of functions?
Yeah, we did.
Was it resolved? Was a letter written or communication that, in that case, to the CC done?
I think even CC herself did the letter or did a cabinet memo. So I think that
not thinking, some of these things you need to be sure. The thoughts, of course, if everyone would imagine that some things are happening. I think that the governor has done this, but from where you sit as a board member.
Yeah, once you present your...
So was it resolved by the board that we are seeking the transfer of functions?
Yeah, it was resolved.
And a letter written to that effect?
And the letter written. So
when was that?
Probably, and once you write to Waziri, you don't fall off.
When was that resolved by the board?
Should have been in one of these early meetings. You see the meeting August. Allow me to speculate. It was either in this 21st March to 12th April, in one of those meetings.
Honorable Cynthia?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. But I think we are almost exhausting the questions that we had for the former, as she has called herself. We are not aware that you are dismissed, so that is why we are actually still calling you here.
Yeah.
So one is from the submission that you have given in regards to the meetings that you attended. You were present in the meeting on 12th of April 2019, and the most important discussion there was about the adoption of the proposed Kenya Urban Support Projects of financial year 19 and 20. What were those projects, the ones that you adopted that were proposed for financial year 19-20?
So which one? You referred to April, eh?
Yes,
12th
a
April.
meeting on 12th April 2019.
Yeah.
What were those projects?
That the ones we adopted for 1920.
Yes.
It should have been the market. So instead of the market, I think we went to the roads.
So it was instead of the market,
Yeah.
it became the road.
Yeah.
Now on again on 30th of October of 2019, I think we are now on the point that you have raised.
Yeah.
It was the discussion among the minutes. The agendas were the discussion of prioritization of expansion of road infrastructure within Kapsabet. And again, of course, there was also the issue of Kapsabet Modern Market Complex. Tell me how these two change from the market complex to the expansion of road infrastructure within Kapsabet.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa Cynthia. It became an issue when these two were changing. And I remember there was a meeting which I didn't, it wasn't a meeting, I think it was just a consultation, and that a few MCAs came to the boardroom at the manager's place, at the governor's boardroom, and it was the same, the road infrastructure vis-a-vis the Kapsabet market. So what happened, it was again the second bunch of World Bank money. So initially it was supposed to be expansion of Kapsabet market, but on second thought, it was what changed actually. It was the removal of the people from the market of Kapsabet. You can imagine the mama mbogas who are about 200 or 300. To remove them to refurbish that market was going to raise an issue, because we didn't have a place to take these wamamas to before we do the market. That was one. Two, they said even if the mama mboga has their goods, for it to reach from wherever it's coming from to this market, if we don't have good roads, then we'll not be really helping. So that is why it was suggested, first, let's look at the road so that we are able to make the goods reach the mama mboga at the market. Okay. The other one was removing 300 persons to nowhere for this one to be done. It became a bit technical. Thirdly, which I think there was also a point, this market was funded by another fund, just like World Bank. So if you say today that World Bank is funding now like the infrastructure, then tomorrow we get maybe another funding. You say let's remove the World Bank and we change. Honestly, it would have wasted the first person who had done the market. I think those were some of the reasons that made it change to road infrastructure.
So what was suggestion for this?
Order, before that, even so, during the identification, your explanation on a prior donor having funded it, but when the decision was made on identification, how was the identification of Kapsabet market done with all those facts on the table?
I think maybe these facts had not arisen.
No, it was very clear.
Yeah.
Of course, you did not come and wake up to realize that it was funded by someone else.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
This, during project identification, the feasibility studies were done and all those public participation was done. By the time that decision was done, to even tender. How was that done?
Well, the first one, I might not be very clear because I think how it was done. But, there are times, World Bank also gives that these are the projects to be done. It is like it gives you a guideline. So when the people are given a guideline, it is like they just said market. But, when you go on second thought, come to think of it. Now, these are the three possible reasons that came. Thinking of it. Is it true that we go to the market? It's always easier to say, I'll pick
But
water.
you see, what
Yeah.
we're asking is, the decision had already been made.
Yeah.
Midway, you change mind.
Yeah.
This is government-funded projects where public participation are done. There is technical advice for a decision to have been arrived. Then midway, your decision is changed.
I think it happens. You can do something, then you change your mind, basing on ABC.
That is if it's a personal issue. You can change your mind 100 times. This is public.
It is public, and actually we went for public participation.
Was it approved by the public?
Okay, because like as I'm telling you, when there was a consultative meeting,
Yes.
personally I was waiting at Kipsigak just to get the views of those people. We had divided ourselves for public participation.
So
And
was
I
it
went with
approved in the
Mheshimiwa
public
Chaba.
participation?
Huh?
Was it approved in the public participation?
It was. Mheshimiwa, you remember?
And in the board as well?
Not.
The board did ratify the same for the change from market to the roads.
We did. From Market Road infrastructure, we did.
You did.
Yeah.
But
this is where the funding has
two
not
members who
come.
have appeared before this board say that meeting did not end conclusively. The
Okay.
public participation did not end conclusively. But the board proceeded to...
But we had the majority because there's a group that came to Kapsabet. Personally, I went to Cheptegei.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I want us to be in agreement that
Yeah.
it did not end well.
It did not
But
end
the
well,
board
yeah.
ended up approving the change.
But we had had at least the public.
No, it's okay.
participation, and most of the people had agreed.
Whether it's a minority or a majority in
Yeah.
public, but as long as it was done also procedural that the board approved it.
But it was procedural what we did.
That's it. So I'm saying the board approved it.
Yeah, we approved.
Okay. Honorable Cynthia?
Thank you, Chair. I think I lost track of the question that I had. To the next one, when the Chair asked you about how you were dismissed,
Yeah.
I don't know how to call it because you actually wrote a resignation letter. My very small understanding of the law is first, a law does not apply backwards. So if today the Constitution of Kenya decides that the qualification of an MCA must have a doctorate,
Yeah.
I will not be dismissed as being the member of the county assembly because I have a degree. I will not. So the same thing to you. Of course, I don't know why you never sought advice elsewhere. I don't know why you were satisfied with resigning. I really don't understand, and I would really like to understand why you decided and accepted to resign. Of course, I do not want to believe that it was out of your own volition. It was, I want to imagine that it was somehow, someone caused it. Of course, someone caused it because a justification was brought.
Honorable Cynthia, I think that matter we had handled, and clearly the two things that were coming out clear was she was called out to resign. She agreed to it. She doesn't want to come out clear that whether she was comfortable or not. She didn't even clarify. She's not even aware that it was supposed to take effect in March, and she resigned in November. So if we were to follow the law in whichever side, she would have illegally absconded duty or vacated the board. And as to the reason for the resignation, we've asked her to supply us with a letter of resignation, alongside also the advisory that she's referring to, that advised a resignation. So I think I wouldn't want us to repeat ourselves because we still have one member before the plenary session. So unless, now the last question.
Yeah.
What do you think bedevils the board, and what will be your recommendation to make the board functional?
I think it's what we have discussed, for them to be autonomous completely.
Complete autonomy.
Yeah, and complete autonomy, and two to be given the functions plus resources.
Functions and resources.
Yeah.
Has the board ever paid any of the contractors on side?
I think before we left, it was around 10%, but the technical people would advise better.
Is it? But it's the board who approves payment, right?
Probably it was approved after I left.
No, before you left.
Yeah.
Was there any approval for payment by the board?
Not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge.
Not to your knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay. I think then, honorable members, with that, we would want to conclude at that, and we thank you for finding time to come before this committee, and kindly supply us with the documents or the testimony that you committed to supply. We thank you. You will be shown your way out by the Sergeant at Arm. So, honorable members, this sitting is suspended for the next 10 minutes. Then we resume.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, everybody who came.